A very good morning to all. It's me, Madhuri Dayal, again in front of you. In the previous video, we have discussed about the chapter Microorganisms, Friends or Foes. In that video, we have discussed about the different types of useful microorganisms. Today, we will discuss about the different types of harmful microorganisms and the different diseases caused by them, and how the diseases are transmitted, how they can be prevented. Besides this, we will also discuss about the different types of microorganisms caused in different animals and plants also. And also we will discuss in this today that how the food can be preserved and the different methods of food preservation. So let's moving towards the topic. Microorganisms, the foes. Why we have given the name foes? Foes means enemy. So the things which are harmful to us set as foes or enemy. Some microorganisms are harmful in different ways. The disease causing microorganisms in the plants, animals, as well as human beings are known as pathogens. Some microorganisms spoil the food, whereas some grow on leather and clothes and have an adverse effect on their quality. When we eat food, food particles get lost in between our teeth, and bacteria grows on these food particles. And these bacteria, after that, they produce acids and corrode the tooth enamel and cause cavities. Many microorganisms also grow in water bodies and decrease their oxygen level. This is harmful to the other organisms living in the water bodies. Now, come to the topic microorganism causing disease in humans. Children, during your lifetime, you have come in contact with many microorganisms. They invade the body and multiply inside the body and release some harmful materials. And these harmful materials are called toxins. These toxins adversely affect the body and can make us suffer from several diseases. The diseases which can spread from an infected person to the healthy person is known as communicable disease. And these are spread from through air, water, food, physical contact, or by the bite of the insects. In some diseases like tuberculosis, pneumonia, common cold, influenza, swine flu, when a patient sneezes or coughs, small droplets carrying germs are released in the air. After that, these germs, if inhaled, can infect a healthy person. Sometimes the different disease like cholera, typhoid, hepatitis, diarrhea, jaundice may cause by consumption of contaminated food. Different types of insects can also spread the diseases also. Like malaria is spread by the female Anopheles mosquito or dengue by Aedes mosquito. Plague is a disease which is caused by rat flea. There are some diseases also like common cold, conjunctivitis, and smallpox, khasra. They spread through direct or indirect contact with a patient. Now, we'll see about some of the infectious diseases caused by microorganisms. Now see the tabular form. These are some of the microorganisms and the different diseases caused by them. By the microorganism bacteria, the disease like tuberculosis, diphtheria, cholera, tetanus, typhoid is caused. Through viruses, the disease like common cold, influenza, mumps, polio, chickenpox, AIDS, they are caused. By the microorganisms, fungi, ringworm, and athlete's foot is caused. By protozoans, malaria, amoebic dysentery, sleeping sickness can cause. Now we will see about the different modes of transmission of microorganisms or pathogens. Transmission means how they spread. So we will see about that through air. When any person sneezes or coughs, then the disease like tuberculosis, common cold, influenza, or swine flu may spread from a infected person to a healthy person. By consuming the contaminated water or food, the disease like typhoid, amoebic dysentery, cholera spreads. Through the soil, by consuming the food items which is not washed properly or cleaned properly, then the disease like tetanus may cause. Tetanus is also caused by wound also, eye, or by cut with a rusted nail or iron. There are some diseases which are spread through by the bite of some animals, like rabies. Rabies is caused by a rabid dog when bite a person, and the diseases like malaria or the dengue, they are caused by the bite of the Anopheles mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito or Aedes mosquito respectively. Now these Anopheles mosquito and the Aedes mosquito, they are known as vectors. They help in spreading the disease. Now how the diseases can be prevented? Now diseases like tuberculosis, polio, mumps, tetanus, they can be prevented by taking the vaccination. And the disease like malaria, dengue, they can be prevented when we use mosquito nets or the mosquito repellents. And also they can be prevented when we control the population of the mosquitoes. So how the population of the mosquitoes can be controlled? Now mosquito, we know that they breed in the stagnant water. So if we will not allow the water to stagnate near our houses, or the drain should be covered, then population of the mosquitoes can be controlled. Now cholera. Cholera can be prevented by proper disposal of waste and by using the disinfected water. Disinfected water means the water which is not infected. That means the filter water or the clean water. Now the disease ringworm and athlete's foot, they can be prevented by maintaining good personal hygiene. Personal hygiene means personal cleanliness. If we will take bath and wear clean clothes, then the disease like ringworm and athlete's foot can be prevented. Now, there are some diseases which are caused in animals by some of the microorganisms. Now, we will see here from this table that the disease anthrax, it is caused by a bacteria and it infects the some cattle. Cattle means like cow, buffalo, goat, etc. The another disease is foot and mouth disease. This foot and mouth disease is caused by virus and this also infect the animals like cattle. Now rabies. Rabies is a viral disease. That means it is caused by a virus and the animal infected are dogs, monkeys, fox also, cats also. Now the disease is tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is caused by a microorganism and the infected animals are cattle and poultry. Poultry means birds. Ringworm is a disease which is caused by the microorganism fungi and This disease is caused in cattle and poultry. Aspergillosis is also a disease which is caused by a fungi, and it affects the poultry, that means birds. Canine distemper, it is a viral disease, that means it is caused by a microorganism virus and it infects the dogs. Now we will see about the microorganisms which causes diseases in plants. Now we have observed some plants with wrinkled leaves or patches or lessons on the leaves. Sometimes we have also seen the abnormal branching pattern, and also we have seen the abnormal fruits. Abnormal fruits means when the size or shape of the fruits is not normal. Suppose if a berry has the size of an apple or the apple has the size of a pumpkin, then this type of diseases are abnormal fruits. Now, how this has caused? This has caused by the affecting by a pathogen. These microorganisms may reduce the production of the crop, and sometimes also they also cause total destruction of the crops. There was a disease called late blight in potato crops, and in 1740 to 41, the Irish famine was caused due to the complete destruction of potato crops. In the potato crops, late blight disease occurred, and it was caused by the fungus. Now there are some other diseases also which are caused by virus, bacteria, fungus. Now we will see in the table that the tobacco mosaic virus. Tobacco mosaic virus is a disease which is caused by virus in plants, and the symptoms of this disease is appearance of uneven spots or lessons, and also the color of the leaf also changes. Now you can see from the picture that is the tobacco mosaic disease. In this, the green color of the leaf, it is changed and it has changed into brownish color, and some spots is also there on the leaf. Now the other disease is citrus canker. This disease is caused in citrus plant, that is lemon or oranges, etc. In this disease also some patches or lessons occur on the leaves also, and stems also, and fruits also. The next type of disease is rust of wheat. As the name suggests, rust. That means in this, the infected part of the plants, they become rust colored, or the orange patches occur on the infected part, and this is caused by a fungus. The next disease is smut of rice. In a smut of rice, small balls in grains appear, and when this balls they become greenish black, then after that they burst, and the spores present in them, they infect the other grains. This disease is also caused by a microorganism, fungus. The next disease is red rot of sugarcane, and it is also caused by a microorganism, fungus. In this disease, the stems become dull red color, and sometimes white patches occurs on the stalk or the stem, and sometimes red lessons occurs on the midrib of the leaf. Now from the figure, it will be clear to you. Now come to the next topic, food poisoning. Food poisoning is a disease. It is a disease which results from the consumption of contaminated food. And what happens in this disease? Here, when any person suffers from food poisoning, then the symptoms may be vomiting, nausea. What do you mean by nausea? Nausea means feeling like vomiting. And also, severe pain occurred in the abdominal region of the patient. He may suffer from diarrhea or dehydration. Diarrhea means vomiting and dysentery both occurs. And if vomiting and dysentery will occur, that means too much water comes out of the body. Then the condition dehydration will occur. Dehydration means loss of water. All this will result in too much weakness, fatigue. Fatigue means tiredness, and they may cause damage to the nervous system. Now, some of the bacteria which causes food poisoning are Clostridium and Staphylococci. The fungi which causes food poisoning is Aspergillus. Now, how this disease, food poisoning, can be prevented? Food must be properly prepared and stored to prevent food poisoning. Food should not be left unrefrigerated for longer times. If the food is left, then it should be kept in the refrigerator so that they should not be spoiled. Hands should be washed before handling and preparing the food to prevent the contamination of food. So in this way, food poisoning can be avoided or it can be prevented. Now come to the topic food preservation. Now food preservation is a process to give appropriate physical or chemical treatment to food in order to prevent the spoilage of the food. Preservation also prevents the growth of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms. And it also reduces the or retards the oxidation of fat. Oxidation of fats means when the fat reacts with oxygen, then this is called oxidation of fat. And this condition is also known as rancidity. So if in the food rancidity occurs, that means when the food has unpleasant odor, that means smell or taste, then and this occurs due to the chemical changes or the decomposition of the oils or fats present in it. Now we will discuss about the different methods of food preservation. Now food can be preserved by different methods like drying. So as the name suggests, drying. The food, some of the food, they are sun dried. That means in this method reduces the water content. And if any food, if the water content is reduced, then bacteria will not grow in that. And the food will be also easier to carry from one place to another. Because if the water is reduced, then the weight becomes also less. Now, you might have seen that your mother uh, kept the food like apple, pears, bananas, apricot in front of the sun. They cut the fruits, these fruits you can see from the picture also. Some cereals also like wheat, maize, oats, rye, and some pulses also like gram, moong, pea, and some other material also like suji. Your mother often keep them in front of the sun. Why they keep them? To reduce the water content. And in the water, if in the food more water will be present, more moisture will be present, then it will be the place for the bacterial growth. So to stop the bacterial growth, the food is kept in front of the sun to reduce the water content. Now come to the preservation method by using sugar and salt. Sugar and salt is added to the jam, jellies and pickles. Why it is added? To reduce the water content and also to reduce the prevent to reduce or prevent growth of microorganisms. Sometimes meat and fish, they are covered with salt to check the bacterial growth. If they are covered with salt, then the growth of the bacteria stops. Now, next preservation method is using acetic acid. Acetic acid is commonly known as vinegar, and this vinegar or the acetic acid stops the growth of microorganisms. Vinegar is used in manufacture of pickles and the different products. Citric acid and phosphoric acid are used in manufacture of carbonate beverages and fruit drinks. And these are used for flavoring and for preservation also. Now come to the different method of preservation, that is using the chemical preservatives. Some of the chemical preservatives are sodium benzoate, potassium metabisulfite, and these are used for in jams, jellies and pickles for preservation. And these chemicals, they inhibit the growth of microorganisms. Now the next method is heat and cold treatment. Now heat and cold heat treatment, the microorganism, while boiling the food, the microorganisms are killed. Milk is usually boiled before their use also and before the storage. Now some of the food, they are kept in low temperature, like the vegetables and the fruits, they are kept in the refrigerator, because in the refrigerator low temperature is there, and at low temperature the microorganisms are either killed or their growth is stopped, they stop multiplying. Now come to the other topic, pasteurization. Pasteurization is another method of food preservation. Generally, milk is pasteurized. Pasteurization is the pressurized heating for a short time. That means below the 100 degree centigrade or heating to 72 degree Celsius. And after that, quickly cooling is done so that microorganisms do not grow in that. Now, the next one is vacuum packing. Vacuum packing stores food in a vacuum environment. It is usually an airtight bag or bottle. In the vacuum environment, the bacteria do not grow because of the absence of the oxygen. And in this, they reduce the loss of flavor of the food. And these are commonly used for storing the nuts. Now, canning is the other method of preservation. It involves cooking food and sealing it in sterile cans or jars. And after that, boiling the containers to kill or weaken if any microorganism or bacteria is remain. After that, the next preservation method is freezing. Now, when food are kept at below freezing temperatures, and at freezing temperatures, most of the chemical changes they are reduced, and uh, here some of the microorganisms either they are killed, and if they are not killed, then the bacterial spores they survive, and when they are taken out, uh, then after that they get revitalized when the food is thawed. That means when the food is not frozen, then they grow with vigor. Now we will see that a whole chapter, or the chapter at a glance. Living organisms which are not visible to the unaided eye and can be seen only through a microscope are known as microorganisms. Microbiology is the study of microorganisms. Depending upon the cell structure, microorganisms are classified into bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and some algae. Viruses are microscopic bodies which can produce only inside the cells of some host organisms, like a bacterium, plant, or animal. They can be crystallized like sugar and salt when they are outside a living organism. Microorganisms are found everywhere: in air, in water, in rocks, within the earth's crust, inside human beings, plants, and animal bodies, and even in cold deserts and hot springs. Some microorganisms are useful to us in many ways. They help us in preparing food like curd, cheese, and alcoholic beverages. They are useful in treatment of sewage, in energy production, and in cleaning the environment. They also help in production of antibiotics and vaccines. Some of them even enrich the soil and help in agriculture. Some other microorganisms are harmful. They are known as pathogens and cause diseases in humans, plants, as well as in animals. Some of them cause spoilage of clothes and leather. Some microorganisms grow in water bodies and decrease their oxygen levels. They thus cause harm to other organisms living therein. Mishandling and improper storage of food causes microbes to contaminate it and produce toxin in it. Consuming such food causes food poisoning. This can result in vomiting, nausea, dehydration, and it may even damage the nervous system. Now, food preservation. It is the process of giving an appropriate physical or chemical treatment to food in order to prevent or slow down its spoilage. Some of the methods used to preserve food are drying, use of salt and sugar, use of preservatives, pasteurization, canning, freezing, and vacuum packing. I think you have understood this chapter very well. Thank you.